Okay, so
Like, no, like
what
the other
happened?
night I was walking across the parking lot after I was like done closing, and I heard this really weird noise like over like the other direction from the store.
Right
Like,
across the highway?
yeah, right across the highway, and like I stopped because I was like, okay, that is weird. And like normally, like you hear sounds around here, and like you kind of know what they are, and you're like, oh, it's this, or oh, it's that. And I was like, I could not determine what it was because it sounded like a whole bunch of different things at once.
But it was just one creature making this noise?
I think it was just, it sounded like just one thing.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, what is that? And like, I'd never heard anything before like it. And I was
Really?
like, that was really interesting.
That's pretty
and then,
cool.
like, yeah, like it went on for a while and then it stopped. And that was pretty much it.
Wow. Wow, so anything about it resemble a rooster crowing by any chance?
I don't know, there was a whole bunch of different stuff like in there that was like, it was like making like a whole bunch of different noises, and I was like, that was really weird. And it wasn't someone's like stereo or something, or a person, because like people don't sound like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was really interesting.
How long did it go on for?
Oh, okay. Like maybe a minute, because
Really?
I stopped and I was like, what is that?
Wow.
And then it stopped and I was like, okay. All right, and I went back inside.
Wow, cool. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not. Right over there, there's a house on the other side of the river. And just a couple nights ago, the lady that lives there was woke up about 1 o'clock in the morning from screams coming from this side of the river. So we are now out here looking for tracks. There are some impressions here in the moss. Some might be elk, some might be fish prints. There's just nothing so far that's very clear. We're gonna keep looking. Pretty torn up right here. Once again, lots of marks that aren't easy to say what they are. Could be elk, but they don't look cloven. They don't appear to like hoofs. That there, that does not look like an elk track. See what your foot does, Gabby. Watch out. Look at it. Now move your foot. Move your paw. Let's see. Yeah, that just springs right back under Gabby. So whatever left this mark here really made an impression. What are you doing? You having fun yet? These are pretty freshly broken. We have a new large structure here. We've got these two trees, look like they've been down for a while. Third one over there. Let's see, right there. That one has been snapped. That one is relatively fresh. Goes back into that same tuck with these two trees. Right there. And then another one there making a big old X. Those weren't here. Well, it wasn't like this the last time I was out here about a month ago. Okay, so we're up here by the apology stump. We've been out looking around for tracks, and the snow has been here since the weekend. It's been rained on a lot, and I'm not finding anything new. A few fresh elk tracks, and that's about it. But I need to catch you up on something that's going on here at the gifting stump. Last weekend, when Sandy and I were up here on the hill listening for any kind of night noises, we were up here. We were in several different areas that night, but before we went up and got the vocalizations from last week's video, we came down the path right through here, and as we approached the apology stump, we discovered that the plastic box with an apple in it was opened up, and on the ground right here in the middle of the trail, good distance from the stump, which is there, and the apple's gone. One thing that we found interesting about the box is it is broken on the side just the same way that the one at the other stump was. And then we found the lid to the box is right over there. And of course there was no visible tracks. The snow wasn't here then. We couldn't see any signs of what had been here. Another thing that we found was gone. The peanut butter jar was right there on the stump, and it's gone. We found the lid here on the ground right next to it, which we left here, and I can only assume is somewhere underneath these little patches of snow here. But the jar itself, we can't find anywhere. It is nowhere to be found. And we think that's pretty cool, considering that this is the same stump where the ball has completely vanished from. And another thing I'd like to point out here is that this wasn't broken that night when we came down. This here is new. This little dead tree next to the trail is now broken. Okay, something that's interesting here. I haven't walked through here in a while. A couple of months ago, when we had our thermal sighting, in that video I showed you a new broken tree that we found here when Sandy and Larry were with me, and we showed how it was hung up in that tree over there. Well, now it's broken again here in the middle. You can see where it was snapped off there, where it was hung up there, and now it's got a big break right here. Pretty cool, huh? That obviously had to have some kind of weight on it to break it at that spot. You can see the limbs on the underside, how they're bowed against the ground there when it was pushed down. Very cool. We have this tree structure that I found last fall. You can see it's right there. Well, that's made up of 8 different trees. And now we have this too. We've got a new one right here that's down. You see where Gabby's got her head in there. And this one here that's kind of been pushed over to make another X just right next to that big structure that's right there. And not only that, right here is like this little tiny structure right there. Pretty cool, huh? So is that like a little Squatch's copy of the work of the bigger Squatches? Maybe. If they mimic, the little ones would mimic their older brothers and sisters, so makes sense. Something else we found out here that is kind of interesting. These 2 trees next to the trail, they've had a bit of a lean to them before, but now they are hanging way over the trail. And I can't say that's not from the weight of snow on them, although we didn't have that much snow. Interesting. Okay, something else that's interesting here that I can't say for sure didn't happen because of the storm we had, but it is kind of curious coincidence. We've got this big stick here right next to the trail, stuck in the ground. And this is just short ways out of the woods from the other structures back there. And then right here on the other side of the trail, we've got another one right there. And I suppose they could have fallen down out of these trees and stuck in the ground like that. But I don't know, to have two of them right here. And I never find these here next to the trail. I think that's just very interesting. Two of them.